Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Yamcast. This is episode 8?
8.
Episode 8. Today we're going to be looking at Fortnine's wonderful, but also we have opinions about, Harley video. We're also going to be looking at a brand new limited edition MV Agusta. We'll then be taking a couple calls from our Discord members, looking at some funny comments, and then a couple Craigslist bikes, and also what's going on with us. So, a bit of a jam-packed episode today, so stick around, grab some popcorn, grab your favorite drink, and let's get into it.
All right, so our first story this week comes to us from, I think, probably your and I's favorite motorcycle channel.
I would have to say so, yeah.
Fortnine does some amazing stuff, and I think they're our soul brethren, or they're the what we aspire to sometimes.
Maybe they're the benchmark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Gotta say, though, we're killing them in the volume game. Video every day, baby. Video every day.
And so they put out this video, which I feel like was a long time coming, and I don't think it's the first one they've done on Harley like
I don't
this
think
before.
so either.
And the title of the video, for those who haven't seen it, is How Harley Davidson Killed Itself.
Great title.
Yes, great title. And it has done spectacularly.
Yeah.
In 3 days, it's at...
Over 1 million views.
Yeah, over 1 million views.
Which for a niche motorcycle channel is pretty dang good.
Yeah.
The only video we've ever done that did similar numbers to that was the 7 myths about motorcycle videos.
Mm-hmm.
I put that out like October 2018, and by like early November it had over 1 million views.
Yeah.
That was the best video we've ever posted. And actually, fun fact, if you go to that video, Ryan F9 actually left a comment on it, so he is aware of what we're doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Ryan and I have chatted once over email, I think. He's a really cool guy. He does really good, really amazing videos. But let's discuss what was said in this video.
So the gist of this video, the Too Long Didn't Watch, is essentially breaking down the individual things that Harley Davidson has chosen to do in the history of their business that has caused them to basically back themselves into a corner in terms of success.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing was embrace the first main thing was embrace the easy rider counterculture idea, right? These guys who were in World War II were riding Harleys. They bought them and they turned them into choppers. They turned it into this idealistic, individualistic, very rugged appeal.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is still something that Harley brands itself on today, even after the Honda Nice campaign, which was literally a knife into Harley itself.
Mm-hmm. It's because Harley, much like the video mentioned, it's Harley assumed that, there was no market for people other than white dudes who came back from the war, right?
Mm-hmm. Like,
that's what they thought that riders are going to be, and that was it. But turns out that there were a lot of moms that wanted Super Cubs, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that just wanted like a little scoot, So they kind of missed the boat on that one back then.
They really did. And you know what? It's interesting. We have some talking points here in another sheet. You brought up the idea of how this individualism, idealistic, rugged appeal doesn't really ring true with some of the more modern Harley buyers, which I number myself a part of.
You did buy a Harley, yeah?
I did buy a Harley. I bought 2. And this is still something that I still like about Harleys. I kind of like this image. I think it's a little silly, but motorcycling's a little silly.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of fun to buy into that image a little bit.
I mean, that's what they're banking on, right? Like Harley is literally for dads trying to cosplay as bad guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the whole idea behind the company at this point. So much so that it's been lambasted in movies and stuff like that. I mean, I'm so glad he brought it up because that's what I always like talk about Harleys. It was like, it's some 50-year-old guy who's a dentist who has, 35 G's to blow on a bike like that and wants to pretend like he's Sons of Anarchy, right? And that's cool, guys. Like, you got some of y'all go out to, what is it, AnimeCon, what is it, the cosplaying convention?
I have no idea.
I don't know why I'm looking at you like you would know. I peered right into your soul. I was like, tell me the convention. But, everyone loves playing pretend. You know what I mean? Like us fast sport bike guys do that too. We put on our leathers, we stretch before getting on track. We're pretending we're Marquez or Rossi, even though we're bumping out, lap times that are 15 seconds slower than an expert level pace, and it's fun to pretend, and Harley sells you that dream, right?
Yeah, and it's the reason why I so badly want a Sportster. Yeah. Is because I want the feeling of being on a Harley. And that is so intertwined with this iconic image that they've crafted over the years. And sure, that doesn't entice a lot of people. It doesn't entice somebody like you, for example.
Doesn't do anything for me, yeah.
But, I still like it. So I think people like me number in a minority nowadays.
There's a great point that I had written up in the notes that I want to talk about when you talk about, like, people back then were more individualistic, more rugged, all this stuff. I mean, they've done lots of studies that show that millennials, and especially Gen Z, are so much more socially aware, so much more cohesive, so much more about the group and cooperating, right? They did this really interesting study where they sat a bunch of Gen Z kids down to watch The Breakfast Club. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
They got the 5 teenagers, and there's the assistant principal or whatever. And the whole point of that movie is how, the teenagers are rebelling against the principal, and they're, going against the grain and doing their own thing. But a bunch of Gen Z kids watched that video or that movie, and they were like, well, the principal's just trying to do his job,
Yeah.
He's just trying to do his job. He's probably some, guy who's stuck in a dead-end job. He's just trying to make ends meet, and, like, these poor kids are just being bullies to each other, and, like, their group's kind of weird, and the dynamic's weird.
Yep.
It's amazing how they pick up on that kind of stuff, right? And I think that's why they look at something like a Harley, and they look at the, I'm a big bad biker alone on the road type of thing, and they're like, why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
Why would I want to be alone on the road when I can join Yammie Noob's motorcycle Discord and have an awesome virtual community of motorcyclists? I'm just kidding. The picture's too easy there. But that's what I'm saying, though, right? Like, most younger people nowadays would join something like a Discord server or a YouTube comment section, or they want to participate in, some type of social cohesion around their bikes. So that's just kind of my take on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Harleys are really hard to get into if you want to do that.
Oh my God,
very expensive. The base model Harley, the base model real Harley is the 883 iron, and that's $8,000, $9,000.
And that brings up another point that I wanted to talk about is the economy, right? Like, Fortnine alluded to this in their video about, economic conditions, but I don't think they drill down deep enough into it, and the fact that, wages haven't moved in 40 years, guys. Like, productivity has massively outpaced wages in this country, and for most people, the thought of buying a $9,000 motorcycle is just totally untenable, right? Like, most people are much more willing to go into debt to buy a car because they need transportation to get around. You need a car in almost every American city to do anything, right? And that's one thing that I think in their video, just to nitpick a little bit, because I think they did a great job, but just to nitpick a little bit, they mentioned how auto sales rebounded after the 2008 crash. Well, it's because automobiles in the United States have become almost a necessary good.
Yes.
You need a car. You'll go into debt to have a car so you can get to work, so you can grocery shop, so you can do stuff, No one's, unless you're crazy like us, going to debt to get a motorcycle, right? Like, why would you do that? And I think for most people, they just don't get the point. They just don't get the point of owning a bike if, it's just not what they're looking to do.
But interestingly enough, they did mention the fact that the toy motorcycles, like off-road bikes,
because they're cheap.
They're cheap, and they're the ones that are selling now.
Yeah.
So it's something where somebody's going out and hitting a trail on the weekend, kind of a thing. And Harleys are not really weekend bikes. They're not a bike that you go out and just you sure, Sunday cruise, fine, but I consider a Harley to be like a real highway commuting machine, honestly. They're not really about hitting a corner, although a lot of them can do it. But they're not a toy. Harleys are not toys.
Yeah. They're not even toy-like. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even exude that kind of energy, right? Like a Grom or a KTM Duke 390. They don't feel fun. Yeah,
they have a very interesting way of delivering a riding experience. It's very, very tactile, very kind of chattery.
Yeah. The butt rock just starts blaring.
Yep.
Your dad's voice comes into the back of your head and says, "You're a man now." Like that. That really does. It's too easy. I'm sorry. It's too easy. But yeah, the other thing I was going to say as well is, for younger people today, I think back in the day, those were cheap army surplus bikes. They would just buy them up, and they had plenty of purchasing power to do it. If you're a Gen Z kid, and let's like narrow, let's drill down on it, right? You're a Gen Z or a millennial. You like the cruiser aesthetic. You want to be individualistic. You want to be rugged. So you're already like this small of the sliver, right? The first thing you're gonna do is go on Google and look up cheap cruisers, used cruisers, like best cruisers. Harley's probably not going to be high on that list. You're probably going to find a Suzuki Boulevard off Craigslist that's $3,500.
If you want a Sportster, people will just buy a Bolt.
Yeah,
I mean, the Bolt is the Sportster, just made by Yamaha.
exactly.
So,
And they're probably going to see reviews and other things that show them this is a more reliable motorcycle. It's a more advanced motorcycle. Why wouldn't I get this, right?
Yeah.
And that's a comment I even see on this video where people are like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to buy these bikes, And to the video's credit, they're just coming kind of late to the party. They're showing up. It's like, oh, we got e-bikes, we got sport bikes. People are like, well, it's a little late.
And I think the major point of this video was the move by Harley to basically block out every other motorcycle manufacturer in the world in America.
Yes.
When they ran to Reagan.
Yeah.
And just immediately slapped
capitalism
tariffs
is
on
cool
everything.
until we're losing, right?
Yeah.
I think it's such bullshit, honestly. Like the fact that these companies sit there and exalt the free market, and yet at the first sign of trouble, they run to the government to try to help them out. It's like, oh, you got to protect us. I'm like, what about creative destruction? What about the fact that maybe your products aren't good enough to survive in this market, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't exist, right? Sorry.
I mean, that if you don't have competition, you don't have innovation. It's just, that's why the Sportster is still the exact same bike from 1980.
Yes.
Sure, little things have changed. They made the Roadster. It's got upside-down forks, dual discs up front. Fine.
It's now a 1990s Japanese bike.
Exactly. It's caught up. That's the thing. It's caught up almost.
Yeah.
But we're also getting basically Harley's on the other side of the token now, and it's going to be tough to not get too political about it.
Yeah.
But, when Trump slapped a bunch of tariffs on steel, what are Harleys made out of? Steel.
Yep.
And if you're trying to make a bike that you're actually have a decent margin on, you have to ship some of your production overseas.
Yeah.
You just have to. But
all the other manufacturers are doing it, right?
Yeah.
And
it's really funny. They played Trump's comment about, make these big beautiful bikes here in the States. It's a horrible Trump impression, but
yeah.
I
like this touch to it. Yeah.
You gotta, it's all about the hand gestures.
Some of this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta bring the production back to the United States. Well, guess what? It never left.
Yeah.
The only bikes, to my knowledge, that they've moved overseas are the Street Line, because they're not meant to be sold here. They really aren't.
Yeah.
They exist to break into the Indian, Asian, and European markets where, you have to be Euro 4 compliant. Places where you can't really sell a Sportster.
Yeah.
Places where you can't sell a Big Twin. But the Big Twin motors, the Big Twin, or the Sportster motors, they're all still made in Milwaukee. They're still assembled in Pennsylvania or Vermont, wherever the other factories are. I think they reopened Kansas City, too.
Really?
Yeah. They're still making bikes here. And,
yeah.
The bikers for Trump, you got to build it here. It's got to be an American bike. It's still an American bike. They still have Milwaukee stamped on the triple tree.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and so much so that we put out that video with your street rod, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we saw at least 20 comments being like, "That's not a real Harley."
Yeah.
It's that kind of forthright about it, which is funny because you don't see that kind of stuff about the Duke 390 where they're like, "Oh, it was built in India. That's not a real KTM."
Yeah.
It doesn't stoke the same kind of ire and hatred that something that was made outside of America does. So. Yeah.
I mean, it's really tough when you get into these political situations. I really, again, not to get overly political, but I cannot stand how interlinked these big companies are with politics.
Yeah. But then for Harley Davidson to try to show up and be like, "Oh, we're apolitical." I'm like, "No, you're not."
They're absolutely not.
No, you're not. You're playing right into this base. You're trying to capture this market because you know that if you can find some sort of affinity with this character and create some sort of blood tie between you and the bikers for Trump, then you can sell more bikes. That's all you care about.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. And I think just, one last point I'd like to make as well, and Fortnine mentioned it in their video. I do think there's a world in which Harley exists as most of the revenue doesn't even come from motorcycle sales anymore. They come from merchandise. They come from, licensing agreements. They come from all kinds of maybe service from their dealerships of existing bikes. And new bike sales are not really their bread and butter, right? What do you think?
I mean, unfortunately, yeah. And Mike Judge made that joke in King of the Hill. First season of King of the Hill back in like the early 90s.
Yeah.
Hank Hill never rode a Harley, and somebody wanted to replace his wallet. No thanks, Harley Davidson already made mine. And I mean, that's so... You see so many people wearing Harley Davidson shirts.
Yeah.
And that's...
there's like a Harley Davidson F-150. There's some co-branding thing there. I'm like, why does that exist?
There's a Harley Davidson store on Michigan Avenue in Chicago.
That just sells like Harley merch.
That just sells Harley merch. They got a couple of bikes in there, but you're not buying a bike on Michigan Avenue.
No.
So, I mean... it sucks, but yeah, they're really just selling the brand now.
And they have like such a strong brand. Also like internationally, like people associate Harley with America, and if that's the audience you're trying to reach, like some, poor, Southeast Asian person or something that wants a slice of the American dream, might feel cool about having a, Harley Davidson shirt,
Yeah.
I don't know. Then maybe that's what Harley turns into.
Yeah, I hope I get my Sportster before all this happens, because I have a very vivid idea of going to buy the Harley that I want in Milwaukee and riding it back to Austin.
Yeah.
Because I want to see Milwaukee stamped on the triple tree. Again, I understand this feeling that people have. But again, Harley needs to change. They need to evolve. Because of course they do.
Yeah.
They can't just sell ancient bikes forever.
They can't sell ancient bikes to ancient people. That's the thing, right? Because like all their customers are slowly dying. Right?
Yeah.
They stop releasing the age of people who are buying Harleys.
And the
most popular bike is a tricycle, so it kind of tells you what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, so enough jibber jabber about Harley. Let's move on to the other bit of news here. This MV Agusta limited edition insane bike that they make. It seems like MV is always coming up with some new limited edition insanity. That's what they're known for.
Yeah, this is the MV Agusta Rush 1000.
Look at that rear wheel.
Yeah, it's got like a hubcap on it. It's this thing is ridiculous.
Whoa.
That's the tail of the bike right there.
What?
And then
my God.
Look at that.
All carbon fiber. That is insane. Say whatever you will about MV Agusta, but they just produce these pure pieces of motorcycle art. It's always insane to see what they make.
This thing looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really does.
This is the same insane engine from that naked bike they're making, right? The Siri Oro.
The Siri Oro, yeah. So we've got a couple of specs that are claimed here. We've got an engine inline 4, 208 brake horsepower, 212 actual human horsepower. It's making
really
80
human horsepower, like a Centaur?
No, that's American horsepower.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The Brits or the rest of the world measures it on braking power, I guess.
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure.
Yeah.
Torque is at 85.9 foot-pounds.
That's prodigious.
Curb weight, we're talking
184 kg?
Yeah, 184 kilograms.
If my math is right, that's a little over 400 pounds, I think.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
With all that carbon fiber, you goddamn better be light.
What's the price?
I have no... I
think it's set up there, right? Go down a little bit more. Down. Priced at 29,000 euro?
Actually, you know what? That's not that bad.
I thought it'd be more than that.
Yeah, no, I
it's
thought
like 35 G's American.
Yeah.
That's not that much.
And again, this is a one they're only making 300 units of. I would have imagined this would just be through the roof expensive.
I thought this would be easily like 50, 60.
Yeah.
Easy.
Like,
because I thought the Siri Oro was like 45 or 50.
It is.
Yeah. Why is this cheaper? Interesting.
Yeah, that's very bizarre, because you think about something like the Desmo Sedici, which is like a legendary Ducati, super limited run. They sell for like $200,000 now.
No, Desmo Sedici, you're talking about the 2008 with
the RR?
with the RR? That's like 78 Gs nowadays.
Really? I thought it was way higher.
Brand new, it was like 72. I just saw one on Iconic Motorbikes the other day. It sold for like 78.
Oh,
they haven't appreciated that much. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's still crazy amounts of money for a single motorcycle.
At that point, I'm buying an Arch, not a Ducati.
Yeah.
So, it's because I can get it handmade for me.
I'm buying 4 R1s and yeeting every single one of them into the sun. That's what I'm doing.
But, man, look at this bike, dude.
Wow.
Like, you talk about a bike like the MT-10 like it's some sort of transformer. This is a transformer bike right here.
This is like show-stopping. Like, god damn.
Look at this SC Project exhaust that's custom for it.
You pull up to a bike not on something like that, no one else is looking at anything.
No, there's nothing else to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievably exotic.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you got the coin, MV, there's really no substitute in my opinion. Like they are amazing.
Man. Look at that. That's the kind of thing that you see on like your kid's wallpaper at home.
Yeah.
When he opens up his computer, you walk in and you see him frantically closing tabs, and then this shows up on his desktop. And like this is literally just art right here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. That rear wheel is so unique. Those red lines on the rear wheel is so cool too. Like that's a really, really fancy looking bike. It's really neat.
They will be bought and they will live in some like sheik's apartment on like the 80th floor, and they will never see a mile.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ride your motorcycle, guys. Go out there and ride them. That's what they're for.
Exactly.
Don't let them languish in a garage. But now, let's move on to the call-in section of our podcast. Alrighty, guys, now we're jumping over to the call-in section of our podcast. Remember, if you want to call in and chat with us, join on yammynoob.co. Let's do it.
All right. Sending the message out now.
To 1,800 plus people. The power.
The power.
The true power of doing that. Get a call.
Yeah, it's been a little quiet the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
but
I think people, maybe they like texting more than calling, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised by some people on the high effort, and we can talk about this on the Yam and Spite thing, but on the high effort video, some people were like, this was cringy, or you tried too hard, or this and that. I was like, I didn't feel that way.
No.
But I think some people feel that way.
I just think people, they know what they think they should see here,
They just don't like any kind of change.
Yeah.
That's why the lists do so well, because it's the same thing every time,
But, it does kind of suck because we put so much effort into that.
Yeah, it's consistency in a broken world. That's why they like it. But yeah, we did put a crap ton of effort into it. Like a week's worth of work between planning and scripting and filming and editing, like workshopping it together with the edit. Like so much time went into that video. And then the list just comes out like just sauntering in drunk and just does better than it,
That was actually really depressing. I opened it up after, like an hour or two. It debuted at number 5.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's good. I was like, of course it's not going to be the R1 videos. Then I checked in on it and it was just like number 1. I'm like, really?
Is it number 1 now?
It's number 1 now, yeah.
Oh, God.
It's number 1.
Last time I checked, it was at 2.
No, it's number 1 now.
Yeah, it's number 1 now. God damn it.
I mean, we're complaining about the success of a video, but it's not supposed to be like that. How's it going? You are on the Yamcast, but I didn't catch your name on the Google Voice thing. Who are we chatting with?
D from LA.
Oh, how's it going, man?
How's it going, Papa Yam? Mr. Yeet Man himself.
Mr. Yeet himself.
And Barry White Spite. With
Yep.
the soothing, cooling voice.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about? What can we do for you?
Yeah, I actually asked you before. It's a two-parter. I asked you if I should get the Triumph Speed Twin or the Triumph Street Triple RS. So I'm looking into the Triumph Street Triple RS, but I saw some on Craigslist, a 2010 Street Triple or the 2014 Street Triple. The difference is that the 2010 has the tailpipe underneath the seat. So I was asking, maybe you can give me advice on which one I should go for. The price range is within about $1,500 apart.
Yeah, so back in 2010, that was still the first generation Street Triple with the undertail exhaust and all that. And it was, they shared that same platform with the other Daytona, the first gen. And while those are very good motorcycles, they do tend to have a couple electrical issues. A lot of users have reported, that bike does have a little bit of electronic problems. It is an older bike as well, so you're just going to deal with that. So my recommendation would be to go with that 2014 if it's looking pretty good to you, because that's a really, really solid bike. It's still got the same 675 engine, still really, really nice, really tractable, really usable street bike. So that would be my suggestion there. Spite, any thoughts on that?
I mean, the only Triumph Street Triple that I think it was the Speed Triple, but the older Triumphs, every single person I've known has had a transmission problem with them. One guy's transmission basically exploded. The other guy's transmission, it was dropping out of like 5th gear. And then the other guy was on an old Rocket 3, and his 2nd gear didn't work or something like that. So I would keep an eye on that transmission if you're doing the test ride. See if it feels good. Try and get it through all the gears if you can. But beyond that, I don't really have a ton to add, I don't think.
It's the quality and flavor we've come to expect from Triumph. Yeah. They've gotten a lot better in recent years, but some of their earlier bikes were kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was looking, now that you've answered my question, I was really looking to 2014, but I was also considering maybe I should just get the 2020 RS, just because, if I can afford it, I'll have that peace of mind that knowing it's under warranty, and that if anything goes down, then I can just, take it back to them. And they've been pretty solid. My buddy just bought a Speed Twin, and he's having the best of time. It's actually, that thing really rips.
No, those are pretty quick. Yeah. I mean, I would say if you can swing the 2020, I mean, they're probably going to get you a pretty decent deal because they're probably trying to move new bikes. You can probably swing some good financing. And that 2020 is a great bike. We've got the 2019 Street Triple R here, and I love it, dude. It's a really great bike. The RS is just even more of it. It's just even more track ready. It's got the quick shifter. It's got the Öhlins on it, the Super Corsa SP tires. It's a ripper of a bike for sure.
Yeah, I'm just loving that Goku eyebrows on those new ones. That's why.
Yeah. The new ones have the cool pointy little DRLs. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for answering my question. Because of you, I'm a Triumph boy now. I got an R3.
You hear that, Triumph? Right here, this guy. He's a Triumph boy because of me. Give me motorcycles.
The R3, bar none. My buddies on the Daytona and the S1000 destroy me on the highways. But out here in Angeles Crest, dude, I pass them on the corners like nothing. Because they have to brake so hard, and I'm just like trail braking on like 3rd gear. I'm just constant. And
the R3 is just so lightweight, you just carry all that corner speed. I think it's more fun riding a little bike on those twisties sometimes.
Oh, definitely. Everyone, all the YouTube guys, like that D-Cali boy that smoked Max Wrist, he was on the R3. Yeah,
I heard about that guy. I think I saw the video. He's super fast on his R3, and he was just passing up at Max Wrist on his leader bike. That was quite funny.
Yeah, I met him. He's a super nice guy, but he's notorious for crashing bikes. So in the past year, he had a Z900 when he low sided, and then he got a Ninja 636. And then now he has a Triumph 675R. This is within less than 9 months.
Wow.
He has 3 bikes.
That's a lot. So, that's crazy.
Talk about yeet energy.
Yes, very high levels of yeet energy. Well, man, I hope you get that 2020 Street Triple. Hope it treats you well, and you can go and yeet yourself into the sun as well.
No, I'm not. I'm an old man. I'm 44. I'm just gonna take it easy. So.
Nice, man.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, and I hope you have awesome time, and good luck on that R1 on the track. I'm going to look forward to it.
All right, man. Thank you. See ya.
See you around.
Okay. Bye.
Street Triple's a great bike.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
I think the thing about the Street Triple to me is it's another one of those bikes, kind of like the VFR, where it's just so excellent that it's really hard to find a flaw, and they kind of polish the character out of it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
Like I was sitting there editing this video for tomorrow, and you can just hear that that air intake just getting honked in there. It's so unique.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, once you understand the bike, I could potentially see myself getting bored of it after a while. I mean, it's still fast, and speed to me, after riding the R1 around, speed has become irrelevant, honestly. I find myself valuing torque infinitely more.
Yeah.
Just because nothing compares, right?
No.
Nothing can beat it. So, sure, it's great. It makes a nice flat linear torque curve, but I like something that's got a little bit more personality to it.
And that's interesting because the triple is normally associated with having more personality than, let's say, like a inline 4, like an R6 or some types of those bikes. But yeah, I think about it versus like the XSR 700, and the 700's got more character than the triple. It's just more rowdy, more interesting.
Yeah.
And I do prefer riding it for certain applications, but the triple, like, you get on a twisty, it's just sublime. It's very good.
It's set up almost perfectly.
Yeah.
It's just so good, and that's one of the things that. You put it in a corner, it feels like a cheat mode almost.
Yeah.
Like you get it on its side and it will just track a corner in all the way through and you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, I think by the time this video comes out, my sort of living with the triple is going to come out, and yeah, it's like you said, you put it on the line, you could take your hands off and it just keeps going.
Yeah.
It's that easy to ride.
And I'm realizing that I value a little bit of a brawl when I ride.
It's why you bought a DRZ.
It's why I bought a DRZ. You want to go to war. Yeah, just because I like a very tactile riding experience. I like to feel the bike just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like when we were riding to we were riding up to the office when we were doing the the Harley versus XSR shoot.
Yeah.
I remember going on from Mopac to like 183 on that big sweeping interchange, and I had my whole body off the bike just because I was wide open throttle through that corner, and I felt the bike squirming and doing weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I've known that bike so well that it's one of those things where I really enjoy the way it kind of squirms and wiggles in a corner.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to go down because I've done it before, but it's just there's a little something to it.
Yeah. It's interesting because, me, from my background, track riding and that kind of stuff, I like a very predictable, sublime kind of handling. Because, the Street Triple handles basically the same like the Daytona. It doesn't feel that different. And I think that's what I'm used to, and that's what I like. To me, that's like a motorcycle feeling planted mid-corner. But then I think about how I approach corners on the sled, and it feels totally different. I might, it wriggles and does things, and, it just feels really different. And I think both are fun in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Both are really fun.
Boy,
man, no one else is trying to call us. Do we have any comments we could maybe take a look at?
We did get an just got off the phone with you guys. Thanks again. So this is the guy who called up just now. So let's take a look at a comment here. So this was on the Chasing Tents video that you put out, your little track day movie.
Yeah.
And
my feature-length documentary that I put out about chasing tents on the racetrack that received 29,000 views, something like that. Because that's the way it goes.
Subam Dahia, and I'm sorry if I butchered that, says, "Ain't he painfully slow at some corners? Yammie, get a leader bike."
Now, I love this one for so many reasons because the leader bike won't solve the perceived slowness in corners. First of all, that's the funniest thing. And second of all, finding time on the racetrack isn't even corner speed. It's all the spaces between the corners, right? So maybe that's what he was trying to say, where he's like, oh, the reason you'll go faster is by having a faster bike. And there's some truth to that, but usually there's no truth to that, honestly. You put an amateur on a 600 or a 1000, they're probably going to do just about the same times. If not worse, probably on the bigger bike because they're scared.
Yeah.
So leader bikes will not solve your slope lap times. Just pointing that out there, guys. You can slap on all the electronics. You have 200 horsepower. It's all about wrist and rider. So I'm sorry, Shubham. It's not going to help. It's not gonna help.
Although you'll actually be able to put that to the test when you do get the R1 out on the track.
Oh yeah, I'm going next weekend with it.
Oh, nice.
I've got 2 days scheduled with it, so I'm gonna have some fun with it.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. Now this one's pretty good. I think this was from the video you put out today. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, which was pretty. I saw this joke on there. It was pretty funny. Moto Goat says, "Charging your vibrator." I guess that comment was aimed at GSXR riders. It's too easy, man. It's too easy making fun of you Suzuki boys. Which I count myself. We both count ourselves among. We both personally own Suzukis, right? I got the Busa, you got the DRZ, but they're just too easy to make fun of.
Yeah, I don't understand how Suzuki boys have become the whipping boy of the motorcycle community.
But they really are. Someone put a meme up on Discord. It was like something about GSXR riders. Like one was like stretched. There was like another tire that like barely saw any lean angle. It's like people just whip on them all the time. You know? Yeah.
I had a joke in this video too about how you could literally never find a picture on the internet of a Busa that wasn't stretched.
Yep.
It's literally impossible, guys. Try it.
Yeah. You might find pictures of my Busa, but other than that, it won't count. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we have Yammie-chan on it, so that's like a 10-foot stretch.
Which
right
still
there.
To this day stokes the ire of many commenters. They're just like, you need to take off that butt ugly sticker off your Busa, and I'm like, why? Because it's gonna make it look better? Really? No, it's not.
And we put a lot of effort, and our artist did such a good job. I mean, she's sitting right there.
Look at her.
I mean, it's
just like that one time we were filming. You were like, "Does Yammie-chan look okay?" we are simps for Yammie-chan.
All right. So next up, we have, and this one's really short, and I forget which video this was on, but I'm sure you made a point of like, who doesn't want free stuff? You know, who wouldn't want to win a free motorcycle? Well, Zip100 says, none. I don't like giveaways at all.
Yeah, I think this was on a community post that I did because I'm trying to figure out what our next giveaway should be. So
oh, that's right. That's what this was. This was where we did the Modern Classic, the ADV,
or the competition off-road. Yeah, because, spoiler alert for the few of you that are watching this segment of the podcast, we're going to launch another sweepstakes, hopefully, and the data is all suggesting to me that a Modern Classic or a Scrambler, or even a Cruiser, is probably the way to go over like an ADV or an off-road bike. But apparently Zip, he doesn't want anything. Like no happiness, nothing for Zip here. He wants to not give any giveaways at all. And that's boring to me. We're not doing that.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
sorry, Zip.
Clearly you're in the wrong spot.
Got to find another channel, baby. Do you have any other comments, Spite?
No, I was. It was a little short on time today for reasons we'll get into later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe our boys aren't calling us in.
Not even one other comment. I think that'll be good for today's section. It's just a slow day. Our boys are quiet today. Rest assured, there are over 1,800 people on this Discord. It's not like it's a ghost town or something. So if you're thinking of joining up, it's very active, sometimes too active. But for the calls here in particular, people are not feeling it. So we will move on to our next section. Alrighty, guys, let's take a look at some wretched Craigslist bikes before we jump into the what's going on with Yam and Spite section. So, Spite, what do you got for us?
All right, our first bike comes to us.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
This is, let's see here. It is the 2019 Crime Scene Big Dog for $13,500.
In Oklahoma?
Yep. And just look at it.
Oh, okay.
Does this look like a $13,500 motorcycle to you?
Yeah, not even a little bit.
Look at that. Wait, look. Wait, oh, I lost it. Look at the seat. Where is it? Where is it? There it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's your seat right there.
That's $13,500 worth of seat right there. Yeah, it's like I think I've made this joke so many times, but it's like when your mom, when you want a Honda Fury and your mom says we have Honda Fury at home, and this is the Honda Fury at home.
Yeah.
This is pretty miserable. It's like a project bike, right? I'm assuming it doesn't run and needs work and all that, or does it?
Well,
run?
Let's see what the guy has to say here. 2019 Crime Scene Big Dog Chopper, 250 miles, brand new. Doesn't look brand new. Barely ridden, excellent condition with the exception of the seat. Seat needs to be repaired or replaced. Simple fix.
All that goose juice.
Yeah.
250 miles.
It doesn't seem like it doesn't not run.
Okay.
So
I
this
guess it does run.
It's just been sitting forever. Usually when you have a bike like that chalked up, it's usually like in storage forever. Although I'm not sure if a bike like this can just be kickstanded.
Yeah, I also can't believe that that runs, and you can ride that.
Look at that's like 14 feet long.
Yeah, the wheelbase looks to be about, I don't know, 210 inches or something. Yeah, that's, man.
But it does have all of the like chopper things.
Let me ask you something. You as a cruiser boy, what do you get out of this? Because I think my perception on this is very different than yours.
The only thing that I see, the only time I see these motorcycles on the street are for things like Rot Rally.
Yeah.
So Rot Rally, which is probably should have happened. They probably canceled it for obvious reasons. This is the only time I see cruisers like this or the ones from like Columbus, Ohio with the giant like 41-inch front tire or something like that.
Yeah. What is that style called with the big wheel? Is it just called the big wheel?
I have no idea.
Oh,
it's
man,
just atrocious.
Know.
No,
Yeah.
that is a part of cruiserdom that I just don't interact with. My tire size stops at 19 inches in the front.
No, I got to go to 21s for all the dirt boy stuff.
Nah, 19.
Come on, 21s.
19. That's what the Sportsters have up front.
All right. Yeah, to me, I just look at this and it's just, it just looks like a miserable bike to ride. I can't imagine this being fun at all to ride around. And to your point, it's probably just like a once in a year show-stopping type of thing. Is it worth $13,500? I really don't think so, but I honestly don't know enough about these bikes to say, like, do you buy these new? What is this thing? Is it a Harley?
Well, it's going to have an S&S motor in it because it's got a 124 engine, so that's not a Harley size. They usually stop at about 100. I think the biggest Harley might be 117.
Yeah.
I could be wrong there.
100 cc's.
Yeah, so I think this is an S&S motor, which means it's completely custom. I'm pretty sure the big dog is going to be the company that makes it or assembles it for you.
Yeah.
They're all like it's like owning a one-off custom piece.
Yeah, I assumed so, yeah.
And then you're trying to sell it to recoup some of the losses because you wrote it and you were like, this is not a motorcycle.
Yeah, I bet it's like, do you know the Kramer race bikes?
Mm-hmm.
I bet it's like that where like Big Dog just kind of pulls parts from other places and gives you a bike, you know?
Yeah. It's like what Arch does where they make their bikes with the S&S motor.
Yeah.
So similar idea, and then they just...
Spike, this Big Dog is just like an Arch motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, but to be honest, they have executed the chopper aesthetic basically perfectly.
Yes.
Like you look at you have your primary drive belt exposed to tear your jeans off. You have none of the wires are dangling down here.
Yeah.
It's a well executed chopper. It's just atrociously
is that an MT-07
ugly.
behind it?
Yeah, looks like it.
Sweet.
It's MT-07 or MT-09.
How much you want for the MT-07, my dude? Take it off your hands.
But this, no thanks.
Yeah. Let's check on the next motorcycle.
This one comes to us from Facebook, and it's your favorite.
Oh, no.
It's
dude,
a
no.
Superman Gixxer.
No. God, man.
Look at that.
I cannot, I don't want to sound like the dude where it's like, people having fun, I hate it, but like, bro, if you do a superhero-themed motorcycle, I'm gonna come for you. Like, god damn, man.
Like, this is just... And it's got lights, because of course it does. Of course it has lights.
And wait, what is it? It's a GSXR. Why do you think we clown on GSXRs? This is why we clown on GSXRs, dude.
They all kind of end up like this.
They all do. Oh, it's a 2014, too. That's kind of new to be doing that to it, you know?
Yeah, this is...
That's a nice... That could have been a nice track bike. That could have been a nice weekend canyon carver. Now it's this.
At this point, the only way you could, like, redeem this motorcycle is to turn it into a track bike. Just rip the fairings off, rattle can them black, and turn it into
Paint every single surface of that fucking bike black.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not going to get any better.
Let's see what they have to say for themselves here.
How you redeem yourself after this atrocity that you've committed.
I'm selling my 2014 Suzuki GSX-R 1000, very fast and very low miles. It literally has a little over 1,000 miles.
Oh, it hurts my soul, dude. You did this to a GSX-R 1000 with less than 1,000 miles on it. You've obliterated the resale value of this bike, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like you've completely destroyed any. Oh my god.
He will consider any trades, though.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will consider any trades.
The motorcycle is completely customized on the Superman theme.
I would consider financing. Hit me up for more details. What does he want for it? $7,500?
Yep.
Dude.
No.
No one's ever... You're never going to sell it, dude. That's the thing. Like, you're never going to sell that bike.
Unless you can find some other Suzuki boy who really likes Superman.
God, man.
I mean, you're only going to sell it to a diehard Suzuki guy.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the problem is, like, even as a track bike, like we were saying earlier, like, it's still street trim. So to get it to be track prep would still take a ton of work. And to make it, like, you know... If you showed up to that at a track day, you'd just be clowned on mercilessly, dude. Mercilessly. You'd be worse than when I showed with my Busa on track, honestly, because at least the Busa was like a somewhat respectable motorcycle compared to this thing. Good God, man.
This is a nightmare.
That's real bad. Yeah, I got to see the next one. I can't be doing this.
All right, so the next one, complete palate cleanser.
Oh. We love an RC8R.
Look at this thing, man.
Oh, man, dude, these bikes are so good.
This
They're so good.
it's in excellent shape too. Just look at this thing, man.
I genuinely think that when you ride one of these, like this will, like if you ever wanted a super bike, this will be your super bike. They fucking rule.
Yeah.
RC8R is one of the best bikes, dude.
I desperately want to ride one.
Yeah.
It's just they look amazing.
Yeah.
I love the like vertical slanty headlight.
Yeah, the Cyclops
The
look.
black, orange, and white.
The best part about them is once you get up close, you realize like there's nothing to this thing. They just give you a big stonking engine, and that is it. They are awesome. They're so lightweight. They work super well, and this one is one of the cleanest that I've seen. I love the white, black, and orange paint scheme this one has. Super cool.
It's completely. It's basically stock. It's so good.
God, that's so good.
Look at this thing. And the choice mod, they have the nice tail tidy on there already.
You know, the really nice thing about those is they're actually not that super aggressive with the ergonomics. The seat's actually kind of low. You can actually see it right there.
Yeah.
It's really, really simple to ride. Like if you wanted to do like a nice weekend kind of bike, these actually work really well. Yeah, RC8R is awesome. Awesome bike.
Yeah, and this one's going, it's only got 6,000 miles on it.
Dude, I want this bike. I really would love to have an RC8R.
It's got 6K miles on it, and it's going for $10,000.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
100% worth it.
This is like the perfect example of an RC8R right here. And it's just, it's excellent.
It's very, very, very good. Yeah. God, I want one of these bikes so bad.
I would absolutely love to take a rip on it, just because this is the predecessor to the 1290 engine, and the 1290 is amazing.
Yeah.
It's such a good power plant.
Fingers crossed our expert bike giveaway does really well and we can snag one of those for the next round, because that would be super fun.
Oh my God, dude. That V-twin is unbelievable.
Yeah. I've never ridden one.
It's unbelievable how good that bike is. But God, I want that. I really want that. And you can actually see right here just how kind of approachable it is.
That's what I'm saying. The rider triangle is not super aggressive on that bike. That's the thing that surprised me most about it when I rode it at Road Atlanta last year. They're really, really approachable. And the torque they make is just so nice, dude. It really just feels like you're holding a sledgehammer, you know? Like it just screams on the back straights. It's fucking nuts.
How much power does it make?
About 160, 165 horsepower,
That's
I
not
think.
too bad, actually.
No, it's actually really manageable. Yeah, like, it doesn't feel... Like, you know how the R1 feels like just, wow, this top end is biblical.
Yeah.
This bike doesn't really feel that way. It gives you all of it at the bottom, tapers off a little at the top. It's still stupid fast, but it's really manageable.
That's what V-twins do, though. That's why I love V-twin power plants so much, is they're so predictable. Ton of torque down low, and then the power just kind of tapers smoothly as you get towards the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, this thing, they're just so razor sharp. They're so good. I can't remember if this one in particular from 2013 comes with the Marchesini's stock from the factory, but I think it does. I don't think they made... Because they made the RC8R, and I think they also made the RC8 without the R, but I can't remember exactly off the top of my head.
This is the RC8R.
Yeah. So this is like the...
This is the up-spec version.
Yeah. These are such good bikes, man. Yeah. But anyways, enough dick sucking on the KTM over here. Let's move on to what's going on with Yam and Spite. And you've got a bit of a story for us, right?
Yes. Story time. So yesterday afternoon, we were going to interview our new hire.
Yeah, which we already hired him. So you guys are probably going to be seeing some really crazy stuff happening here on Yammie Noob. His name is Andrew. He's going to be helping out with videography and filming. And basically, Fortnine, watch yourself because we're coming for you.
But so we were going to sit down here yesterday afternoon and have a nice conversation. It would be my first time meeting him. I walk out in the garage, and I'm walking to my car, and I see my Interceptor there.
Because you're probably getting ready to come and ride up to the office. Right?
Well, I was going to drive up. Because I had to
yeah.
run some errands that afternoon. It was about 1:30.
It must have been such a sinking feeling.
Yeah, I look over, and I see my Interceptor. I don't see my Harley.
So it's what it's like every motorcyclist's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I walk out, don't see the Harley. It's gone. I called my girlfriend because she's buying it from me. She has paid for it. We just need to do the title transfer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you didn't take the Harley out, did you? And no. And I was like, well, it's been stolen. And sure enough, it was removed. It was gone.
Yeah.
And
for the folks at home, you have in your at your home, like it's like a parking garage, and like you didn't have it locked up or anything, right?
Yeah, no. So you don't
even have a place to lock it to,
no,
right? That's
I don't,
the problem.
There's nothing to lock it to. My Interceptor has a tracker in it.
Yeah.
And so I was pretty confident that any bike that would be stolen would be the one that has a tracker in it because it's a big red sport bike, not a Harley. But sure enough, I walk out and the Harley's gone. So I call you up and I'm like, yep, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
And I had to call the cops. I had to call the police, insurance, whole situation.
Yeah.
I spent the entire afternoon dealing with this theft. And
I'm sure mentally after a couple hours, you're probably like, damn, my bike's gone. You know what I mean? Like I just have to kind of move on and kind of start picking up the pieces here,
Yeah, I was completely expecting that bike to have been torn to shreds inside of about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Get it in the truck, get it to the chop shop, pull all the parts that are worth anything off of it, and ditch the frame.
Yeah.
But later that evening, this is about 7 o'clock, I'm going to bike night, and I'm on the Interceptor. My girlfriend's driving behind me in the car because, we wanted to just get out of the apartment, get our minds off of what we were dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And we're riding, and I pull onto Riverside, and I gun it because I like the twisties going into town there. And I get to the stop at Congress and Riverside, and my girlfriend pulls up next to me, and she's in the turn lane. I'm like, why are you there? She screams at me, I just saw the bike. And I was like, really? No, you didn't. And she's like, I just saw it.
I'm sure at first you were like, it must have been some other Harley that looked like it.
Yeah, and so she was like dead serious that she saw the bike. And so I was like, all right, well, bang a Yui. I basically had the back tire spinning as I was J-turning this Interceptor.
Yeah.
And I was doing like 75 down the street to get to where I thought she'd said it was. And I'm looking around, and I didn't see her, so I was like, okay, it's not here. Tried calling her, nothing. Turns out she had gone into a parking garage that was down underground, basically. When I got there, sure enough, the Harley's just sitting there. It's in this parking lot, and she says, I saw the guy who was riding it. He was sitting here. Very clearly, he was waiting for somebody to come collect this motorcycle.
Yeah.
And if we hadn't seen it then, it would have been gone.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, get out of the car. I'm going to block the bike in because it was in the farthest back parking spot. There was a car on the wrong side of it, and so I completely boxed this bike in.
Yeah.
And I called the cops because I was able to look up it. I know the VIN for that bike basically by hand.
Yeah.
And it was, I checked. The VIN was there. Didn't touch it. And I called the cops.
Did you notice the ignition being messed up and stuff like that?
Not right away.
Oh, okay.
But I was like,
that would have been the dead giveaway to like, this stuff was stolen bike.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is very indicatively mine.
Yeah.
I can,
you know your bike when you see it.
Yeah. You looked at it and I saw it and I was like, that's my motorcycle. The plate was wrong.
Yeah.
But so I call the cops, and they're
So
like,
I'm sure they put a different plate on it. Right?
yeah, right away. Call the cops, and their response time was really slow.
Yeah.
They took about a half hour to get there, and I was like, these guys could come back with a gun. They could do anything.
Yep.
So I called 2 of my buddies who were at bike night, and they showed up to basically be my muscle, which Don and Dave, thank you. Much appreciated.
Isn't Dave the guy you clowned on for his CBR the other day?
He showed up on his CBR 1000 double R.
He shows up, you're like, hey man, glad you're here. Just want you to know it's still not as good as the R1, but really appreciate you being here.
Yeah. And so I get these guys, and we're basically sitting by the bike, and I flag the cops down, and we haul it away. And
Yeah.
long story short, it's now sitting here at Yammie Noob HQ, and what had happened was, because I don't have the bikini fairing on the front, you can see the back of the ignition system. Essentially, the fork lock was done up, so they had to basically break the fork lock from the inside of the back of the ignition.
Jeez.
And they hot-wired the bike and rode it away. And we had about 15 seconds of a window to have seen this motorcycle again. And
Isn't it crazy? If you had left even like a minute before or a minute later, you wouldn't have seen it.
no, and it would have been gone.
That is so crazy.
It would have been gone.
Yeah.
And so, it was... I'm still frankly in shock that we recovered it.
I am too, honestly. Like I remember you texted me in all caps. You're like, "We found the Harley." I'm like, "No way!" Like really?
Yeah.
Like that never happens. Like literally, that never happens with a stolen bike.
Yeah.
Never.
It was surreal walking up and being like, "Yup, that's the bike. It's there."
Yeah.
And if I had not basically been super impatient to turn around, because I was like, all right, I think I know where she wants me to go, I probably could have tackled the guy, because the description of him is he was tiny,
Yeah.
little weedy dude who probably stole it for a sandwich kind of looking dude. But then part of me is like, I'm kind of glad I didn't catch him, because
Yeah.
I probably,
you would have probably seen red.
Yeah, I
for
probably
sure.
would have seen red, because that bike was very important to the both of us.
Yeah. You and your girlfriend, right?
Yeah, you and my-
not you and me and you.
Yeah, no. Dude, our relationship's not quite there yet.
Just the way you said that, you're like the both of us. People were like, oh yeah.
But yeah, so part of me's glad we didn't see him, but I'm also annoyed that he got away.
Yeah.
We have a very good description of him. They pulled some prints from the bike, which is impressive. Although the cops were like, well, it's not like a car where it was just him and you. So, but we'll see what happens. We've got camera footage.
I hope you get the fucker, man. Honestly,
yeah.
That's
because, and for those people who are watching and you're in the Austin area, you need to get a tracker in your motorcycle. You need to get a one of those kryptonite chain locks.
It's getting bad. I was talking to one of our colleagues near here, and he was mentioning how every week it's 2, 3, 4 bikes he's dealing with that have had snapped ignitions and being stolen. Like Austin area is getting real dicey for stolen bikes, guys. So lock your stuff up and make sure that it's not getting stolen.
30 bikes were stolen in April, one a day.
Jeez, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they did not publish recovery statistics, which makes me think it was probably close to 0 that were recovered.
Yeah.
So,
because again, like we said, once a bike's stolen, the first thing the guys are going to do is like they either swap the plate, ride it way far away, toss it into a van, and start stripping it down for parts.
but this dipshit was riding about a mile from where it was stolen.
Honestly, hours later, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And my girlfriend would actually talk to him very briefly. She was like, "Where'd you get that bike, man?"
Well, she talked to him.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's like, "Where'd you get that bike?" And he was like, "Oh, a friend gave it to me, and I was riding it for a buddy." And I was like,
Yeah,
really?"
right. Yeah.
Which is another reason why I'm kind of glad I wasn't there, because
Would
just
have been so sick if your girlfriend had a taser and just popped it out on him, just immobilized him or something,
It's just that was, and I was dealing with that. I currently now have all my motorcycles here because I don't feel safe with my current locking up
They
situation.
start charging you rent. No, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, it's crazy out here. It's really crazy. It's like the Wild West for motorcycles. You really, if you're in the Austin area, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, gotta lock them up.
But I'm just so happy we got the bike back.
Yeah,
because I'd written it off. It was gone to me.
Absolutely.
And just walking up to it, I thought I was never gonna see it again.
Yeah.
So
again, I've never had a bike stolen. I can't imagine that sinking feeling of just it's gone. You know, every time I even leave my bike, like you know, obviously now I'm talking about the before times where you could go to coffee shops or stuff like that. You know, you leave it out in a, you know, on a sidewalk or in a parking lot. There's just always that little part of you that's like, am I going to walk back and see this bike gone? You know, like I just always think that because it's so easy to just pick them up and just take them away. You know, they don't weigh that much. Two relatively strong men can just chuck them into a van.
But this guy rode it away from my apartment. You know, he turned it on last night and rode it out. Yeah. Which is, you know, frightening.
It feels like, you know, it's a violation. You know what I mean? It's like, man, somebody's just like riding my bike and I didn't know and like they fucking broke it and stuff. Like, it's a terrible feeling. Terrible feeling.
Yeah, like for those of you who are wondering, I can't start it right now. The ignition is completely screwed, and you know, I'm not confident enough in my own abilities to be able to fix it. So I'm basically just waiting on. I have to get it over to my dealership. Their insurance gal's not back till next Tuesday. They can't get a truck out here till next Tuesday.
Yeah,
it's a headache. It's a real headache.
Now you're down to one bike, man. Mm-hmm. Down to one bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the old reliable Honda, man.
Yep.
As long as that bike's not stolen, it will never die.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad you have your Harley back and nothing too terrible happened.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
But what's been going on with you?
I think the big thing that's been on my mind is the new guy we hired. I'm very, very excited about that. I think it's going to be a game changer for what we're doing because as people have started to see, you know, we're experimenting a little bit more with higher production value, much to the chagrin of some of our audience who maybe doesn't want us to, which is kind of strange to me. But, you know, it's one of those things where we've got, I don't know, over 2,000 people on yammie.co at this point. And I feel a bit of an obligation to increase the production value, reinvest in what we're doing. I think that with that many people paying to support us and also all the subscribers we have, it doesn't make sense to keep pooping out list videos, right? But it's frustrating because just today we saw that we put out this top 7 mods due to your bike. You know, we wrote the script. You know, you edited it. You put some effort into it, but not nearly as much effort as we put into the R1 versus Busa video.
No.
We spent a week on that, right?
And to give you some context, I edited that video last night after getting back at like 11:30 from dealing with recovering a stolen motorcycle.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday was a freaking traumatizing, so surely that list wasn't up to my, like, perfect standards, you know? It probably wasn't the best one I've ever done, and yet it's sitting at number 1.
And yet number 1, right out of the gate, all the R1 videos we've done, it outperformed all of them in the first 6 hours that it went live. And, you know, part of me wonders, it's like, I mean, the channel is known for that, right? The channel is known for that DIY, you know, list video kind of nature. And I never want to lose that. As we increase the production value and make cooler stuff, I definitely want to keep the fun and the flavor and the meme humors and all that, because that's what Yammie Noob is. Yeah. But, gosh, it's disheartening sometimes to think of how much work went into one video, and then people just see the list and that just rocket ships, you know? Like, dude, me and you in the R1 video, the R1 versus Busa video, like, pre-production, scripting, 2 full days of filming, like editing workshops, like post-editing work, like so much time and effort went into it.
Yeah.
And at some point you have to just be like, well, you know, it's like art. You just never really know what's going to pop and what's not going to pop.
Yeah.
I assume that's how, you know, some artists might feel when they make like, you know, a hit single. And everyone's like, play the hit single. And they're like, but we worked on this huge album, like this concept piece or whatever. We did all this stuff. And people are like, no, play the hit single. It must suck. You know, it must really suck.
Yeah.
But I still really want to, you know, kind of mine this thread of higher production value. And because honestly, like at the end of the day, like I had a ton of fun making that R1 versus Busa video. I'm talking about how it's a ton of work, but it was a lot of fun to make. You know?
It was very creatively fulfilling to put that whole thing together.
Because that's the one thing maybe you guys don't see as well on camera is that, you know, although the lists are fun to script and to make and stuff, they have become a little rote, a little routine, a little, you know, I call them the list factory, right? Like you just kind of churn and burn. But, you know, getting to think of a conceptual thing for a video and execute it and film it and make it, it's a lot more fulfilling. It's a lot more fulfilling.
Going from idea to storyboard to actually seeing the finished thing, like when we knew that we had nailed those first 3 minutes going into the moto vlog, we were like, yes. Yeah. This is it.
And it looked about 95% of the way what I saw in my head when we first started all the filming and the ideas of the video. Like it was pretty much there, you know, and that's a cool feeling.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It's just you're literally dreaming something up and then making it a reality.
Yeah. Someone pressure washing outside. Who can
Yep.
say over here at Yammie Noob? Luckily, we are towards the end of our podcast here. So anyways, guys, just wanted to remind you, go to yammienoob.co and sign up to join our Discord, join our community. You guys make the cool, high-effort content possible. The reason we can put out a video every day is because of you guys. And it's just a really cool thing to, be able to do. And yeah, I'm looking forward to producing some of those more high-effort shoots. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some really interesting ideas. We want to do like a desert shootout video with the Scrambler and the DRZ whenever it's ready. That's going to be cool. Just anything else we can think of. That I want to poll the people on yammienoob.co and see what they want us to make too. That would be cool.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. See you later.